Do complex legal issues hold you back? Let's get energized and bring clarity to your top legal questions. This is Law Talk with the Flock by Goosmann Law Firm.
Hello, I'm your host, Jeana Goosmann, a CEO, lawyer, author, and woman business owner, here to help navigate you through the law, your business, and life as a leader. For today's episode, I have with me Sioux City Senior Counsel, Paul Lundberg. Paul is an experienced trial attorney, and today we're going to reflect on some great teachings from our 16th United States President, Abraham Lincoln. Paul recently helped our team reflect on some of these things at a team meeting, and we thought this would be a great topic for Law Talk with the Flock. Welcome to the podcast, Paul.
Thank you, Jeana. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. And Paul, could you introduce yourself to our listeners briefly?
You bet. I've practiced in Sioux City for over 40 years now. My practice has always concentrated on civil trial work. I've represented clients in all manner of civil matters in Iowa, Nebraska, and South Dakota. I've tried over 100 cases to jury verdict in the state and federal courts of all three states. And I've continued my litigation work for the Goosmann firm.
You sure have, and we're so excited that you joined the team and had great work with our clients, and it's been great to also have you help teach and mentor some of our other attorneys. And I think in that line, that's sort of where this topic came up, and you were talking about being a trial attorney. And in regards to that, Paul, could you just briefly talk about the article that you shared and talked about with our team here at Goosmann?
Sure. I was looking at the values that the Goosmann firm strives to achieve, and one of those is quality. And I view that in terms of providing clients with quality legal representation. At Goosmann, as you know, we try to provide a wow experience for the clients. I see quality representation as the foundation for that wow experience. In thinking about those issues, I ran across an article by Minneapolis attorney Steve Thiesfeld. And Mr. Thiesfeld looked to the wisdom of Abraham Lincoln in discussing thoughts on quality representation of clients. His article is The Agelessness of Abraham Lincoln's Advice to Attorneys. And he noted that for Mr. Lincoln, quality began with diligence. And these are Mr. Lincoln's words. The leading rule for the lawyer, as for the man of every other calling, is diligence. Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Never let your correspondence fall behind. Whatever piece of business you have in hand, before stopping, do all the labor pertaining to it, which can then be done. When you bring a common law suit, if you have the facts for doing so, write the declaration at once. And here we are almost two centuries later, and that advice has been codified in the American Bar Association's Model Rule of Professional Conduct 1.3, which provides that a lawyer shall act with reasonable diligence and promptness in representing a client.
Responsiveness is so important in providing that quality client experience. I know we strive to keep the email box to a minimum and respond to clients, even if just to say, I got your message and working on it. Letting people know that we're on it and being responsive is a big part of that diligence.
Absolutely. And in this article, Mr. Thiesfeld relayed a cute story about Mr. Lincoln, who of course in the 1840s and 1850s was on horseback and rode from courthouse to courthouse serving his clients. So he didn't have a file system. So he kept his papers, client papers, in his stovetop hat. Well, he bought a new hat and left a client's letter in the old hat and didn't discover that for some time. When he did, he took the time to write a written apology to the client for his lack of diligence. We know when we have new clients in that they bring physical papers with them often, and those papers can be lost or damaged. And so part of the quality experience we try to provide at Goosmann is to utilize our paperless file system and to organize and keep our documents in our software system. One way to ensure quality is to make sure we don't lose anything. And that's an excellent way to do that.
Maybe I like having my smartphone so that I don't have to keep all my papers in my hat today.
That's right. That's right. We have a few more options other than our hat. But as we know, Jeana, until 20 years ago or so, paper files were the norm. Paper filings at the courthouse were the norm. And it's much more efficient these days to rely on our electronic systems.
Absolutely. And Paul, can you share a little bit as well with the importance of giving clients honest feedback on whether or not they have a case and what we talk about in regard to quality as we assess, is there a case here?
Absolutely. Mr. Lincoln, even back in the 1840s, was concerned about the cost of litigation. And he urged attorneys to discuss restraint and compromise with his clients. And this is something Mr. Thiesfeld covered in his article. And here are Mr. Lincoln's words: discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. Point out to them how the nominal winner is often a real loser in fees, expenses, and waste of time. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has a superior opportunity of being a good person. There will still be business enough. Never stir up litigation. A worse man can scarcely be found than one who does. And we know when new clients, potential new clients come in, we hear many stories of hardship and loss. And we have to understand that the law does not provide a remedy for every hardship or loss. And because of that, we need to provide our clients with an honest assessment of their matter. Litigation may not be the answer. We at times may need to say no. We can't provide a legal option for you. And if we decide it's a matter we can take, then we have to be honest with them, and we have to under promise and over deliver, which is part of what we do at Goosmann in terms of providing a wow experience and a quality representation.
Under promise and over deliver. Those are such key words. I know that was drilled into me from an early age as a young lawyer, and setting realistic expectations. And you and I just even had a phone call the other day with somebody who'd lost their father and they were upset about an estate. And we realized that we can't bring their dad back, right? And they really didn't have a remedy for a will contest or an estate contest. And we had to share that news with them. And while that might not be what they wanted to hear, it's important to give that honest feedback and to go forth and make sure that we are letting people know what the expectations should be if we move forward in a trial and in a lawsuit. And you know that more than anyone, having taken over 100 cases to verdict.
Yes, and if you look at those 100 cases, there are probably 5 times that many, where over the years I had to tell people that based on the facts and the law, there's not a remedy for your particular loss or hardship. And that's just being honest with potential clients. And that's what we need to do.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, thank you for having shared your thoughts with our Goosmann team, and then now having shared them on the podcast here today as well.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Have a great day, everyone. Go make it worth it.
Thanks for joining us for Law Talk with the Flock by Goosmann Law Firm. We hope you feel energized and ready to soar past your goals. Become a Flock fan and subscribe to our podcast for weekly episodes. Learn more at goosmannlaw.com.